Hey, it's Jason Falls, and welcome to another episode of Social Media Explorer TV. And I've talked a lot over the last, probably year or so in presentations and whatnot about Best Buy and the Blue Shirt Nation, which is an internal social media platform for Best Buy employees. But I've never really gotten an up-close look at it yet. But we're all going to get an up-close look at it today because we're going to talk to Steve Bent and Gary Coling, sorry. It's the OE, which messes me up. Gary Coling from Best Buy about the Blue Shirt Nation. So, guys, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
That's Steve there. That's Gary there. And, fellas, I guess the first question we have is tell us sort of the evolution. How did it start? Where did it start? All that good stuff.
It started, 3 years ago now?
3 years,
yeah. Where we were looking for a way to get better customer insights for the advertising that we were doing, and we thought, well, let's ask the people who work in the field that breathe the same air as our customers. There's over 100,000 of them out there. Let's go talk to them. And because a clipboard doesn't really scale all that well, we thought, well, why don't we do something like this Facebook thing or whatever? So we went and we sort of looked at some different open source platforms. We picked Drupal and just built a site and started inviting people in. We invited some of our friends, told our friends to invite friends, and that's just kind of how it spread. And we found out pretty quickly that they would talk to each other and talk to us about what the customers, were thinking or whatever, but they wanted to talk about a lot of other stuff, and they wanted the platform to be able to take into account all these other things. They wanted to form groups. They wanted to post video. They wanted all kinds of things. They wanted Facebook for inside the enterprise, and so we just put our assumptions of what we thought we knew aside and just sort of rode with it,
right.
And that's kind of how it took off.
And as I understand it, you guys have recently moved to a new platform. So tell us, Steve, a little bit about the original platform, what's different, and what's improved.
Yeah, the original platform was great. It was, as Gary mentioned, it was built on Drupal. And it let us post video and audio and create groups and blog, and employees really liked that. The one problem we had, I think, with that was the adoption of really top management, general managers, those types of things, because they were using, they didn't have time to sit down on a web portal every day and go out of the site. So we started to look at how do we work. We work with Outlook. Who doesn't? It's corporate community. We work with Outlook, we work with our phones, and so we needed a platform that was able to plug in the other channels. So Mix allowed us to move from what we had with Drupal onto a new platform that now lets you communicate with the community through your phone and through Outlook and through the web as well. So it's a lot more Twitter-esque. It's a lot shorter format, able to solve problems I think a lot faster than we could before.
Very cool. Yeah. And Gary, you and I were talking off camera earlier about what the employees use it for, and it's not just about measuring things and coming up with social media metrics. Tell us a little bit about what the employees use it for and how you quantify success.
Yeah, it's interesting. They use it for what you, I think, might expect they would use it for, to sort of get to know each other. Early on, we used to make jokes about BSN that people would post pictures of the cat, right? And they did that, and they still do that. And I think it's important, and I think it's actually one of the ways that you can measure how vibrant a community is if they're willing to bring themselves into the community, willing to share themselves, and if other people are willing to sort of take that out and understand something else about the community member. It's a way for us to sort of, or a way for a community or a company or whatever to sort of ritualize their culture a little bit, which is something that we really don't get a chance to do as a company. Mm-hmm. Usually that's sort of drafted somewhere on high and pushed down to everyone. Mm-hmm. Here are the company values. Here's what we believe in. Here's how we will dress. All of those things. And while they may be important, they only really take root when you start to allow people to ritualize them. And so I think if you see a wide variety of content showing up on the site, mm-hmm. that's a sign that people are feeling comfortable with it, that they want to bring their social selves to
right.
that community.
So there's no there's content that is posted by the community members that's certainly not Best Buy related, not company customer service related. It's really kind of a family site.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the one thing that ties everyone together on the site, the one common experience, is that we all work for Best Buy. And but just like when you join a chess club or a racing league or whatever, you talk about other things other than chess strategy or racing stuff.
He's from Minnesota, forgive him.
Yeah, so
And a huge chess player too.
huge chess player. And so, but no, I mean, the majority of what gets talked about is work related. It's Best Buy related. It's helping each other solve problems around customer questions about certain products or certain operational and procedural things that one store is struggling with that another store has figured out, stuff like that. So the majority of the stuff that gets talked about is business related, and you do see an increase in the efficiency and the effectiveness of some of the things that get talked about. They get hashed out in that area, saying, no, you don't have to do all that. All you got to do is push this, and this button. You don't have to push the rest of the buttons. They go, oh yeah, that's right, I can do it like that.
Yeah.
So most of it is work related. But seriously, when people start putting up pictures of their cat, I think it's a good sign.
The other thing I'd add to that too is it's really given us a chance to practice being social, which a lot of companies are having a hard time with. They go out now on Twitter and Facebook and all these places and they act like a company instead of like people. For the last 3 years, we've had tens of thousands of employees talking to each other, learning how to be social and learning what's good and what's not good. So, and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. So we don't have to really enforce guidelines or things like that because we already know, we've already practiced to some degree. So.
He said the key phrase there, acting like people and not like a company. Very cool. All right, quickly, guys, tell us where we can find you on the web, Steve.
SteveBent.com.
Okay, and
BENDT.
Yep.
And giftag.com, GIFTAG.com.
Very cool. And Gary, what about you?
GaryKoelling.com, GaryKoelling.com. And you can get me on Twitter at /GaryKoelling.
Very good. You on Twitter too, Steve?
Yeah, SBent.
SBent. Yep. Very cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
These guys read Social Media Explorer. I love them. I love Blue Shirt Nation, and I'm going to get screen caps and put up on this post and everything. So we're going to find out a little bit more about it. Thanks for having us, guys.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks a lot.
All right. I'm Jason Falls. Thanks for coming by. SocialMediaExplorer.com. If you're on YouTube watching it, come over and see all the complimentary stuff, links and whatnot, with the video on SocialMediaExplorer.com. And if you're watching on the blog, thanks for coming by. You rock. Peace.